Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're whenever you are watching this. Hi, my name is Paul Sotheby. I guess you already knew that, but whatever. So, I've been trying to do this every day. Every day. Sorry for tapping my fingers. I have this tendency to tap my fingers. I got a mic right down here, catching everything I do. And I've been trying to do this every single day. Why? Well, I felt like the Lord said to me, He asked me a question, are you ready? Are you ready? I said, well, ready for what? What am I ready for? I said, okay, I'm ready. Next day, it's like, are you ready? God, okay, well, let me ask you a question. Am I ready? He says, you're ready. I'm ready, huh? Ready for what? What do you want from me, God? So I'm 68 years old. I've been reading the Bible for every day for like 40 years. Sometimes not very well. Started out at 10 minutes, up to 15 minutes. I'm a big giver. It was kind of like I give money, hard-earned cash money. I'd go, hey, let's give somebody and see how it works. See if this works, So for 24 years, I was inspired by a pastor named Dick Burnell. Dick Burnell. He inspired me. He was a big giver at the church I went to. And I said, I want to be like my pastor, So by the time I left there, I was 24 years there, and it was time to leave. And so I called up and said, hey, how much money did I actually give this church? I know I gave a fair amount, but how much? And so they sent me, I got an email, of which I have a copy. They sent me an email and said, well, on the old system, you gave like $98,000 or something like that. And on the new system, they could go back and because the old system, they'd gone to a new accounting system. So in general, I gave over $300,000 over a 24-year period. And it was like, that's about $1,000 a month for 24 years. So and it wasn't all me, because I'm married. I got married kind of late in life, and my wife is a big giver, and I'm very glad of that. Because let's push this and see how this works. But my attitude was never really mixed with faith. And so I'm going to a new church now, and they believe in a 100-fold blessing. And I'm going, man, I wish I'd had the faith for that when I was given all this money. But it was like, hey, let's give this a try and see if this works. And I was saying, man, did I waste all that money because I didn't attach any faith to it? And a thought popped into my head that they found some seeds in an Egyptian sarcophagus or whatever. And they wanted to know if these 2,000-3,000-year-old seeds would still work. So they put the seeds in the ground, and sure enough, it sprouted and grew something. And it was just like the Lord was saying, hey, you put the seed in the ground, now it's time to believe. So I'm going to start believing for a 100-fold return. Just like Isaac got a 100-fold return, why not get a 100-fold return? So just on that $300,000, we're looking at $30 million. $30 million. And I'm going, this is kind of interesting at 68. Start believing for businesses and other things to happen that are going to bring in $30 million. But why? Why not? But that's not all I've given. Lifetime giving, well, I may have hit $500,000 with my wife, maybe $600,000. So you multiply that by 100, and that's a lot of money. A lot of money, But, we have supported all kinds of organizations. We're actually supporting kids in Liberia right now, and we're doing other things. So my question to you is, have you been consistently giving? If you haven't, why not? Why haven't you been consistently giving? Just had kind of a little not really an outpatient procedure. I just had a little procedure, so I might slur my words just a little bit. Not quite sure, but I'm not sure if I slur my words or whether I'm just having a problem seeing. certain things anyways. My wife accuses me basically of making up words, and I enjoy it. Making up words. Anyways, so I've been reading the Bible consistently, daily, let's say for like 40 years. Now, I've been giving, So if you're looking at me and saying, can anything good come out of a guy that looks like that? Or what does this 68-year-old man have to say? Or whatever. Whatever excuse you're giving yourself for not listening to me, I ask, give me a chance. Why turn me off before I even get started? There's a lot I'd like to say. See, let me tell you a little bit about myself. Very broken individual. Didn't like women, didn't like men, didn't like kids. I was just messed up because of my environment. I'm not going to go into all that right now. God's been doing a lot of healing there, and I really appreciate it. A lot of bitterness, anger. Because of that, I hurt people because I was just bitter, pushing people away and everything. So there's a whole lesson there. If you're bitter and angry, you got to get rid of it. Take it from a guy like me. You need to work on your anger, your bitterness, and just get rid of it. And God can help you do that. God is in the bitter removing business. So he'll help you. One of the things that really helped me is I was watching a video by Christian Craighead was on there. He's a man who was a bodyguard of President Trump for a short time, and he went in alone to rescue basically a hotel complex that was under attack by some terrorists. And he was asking people, is anybody coming? And he says, nobody was coming. So he was the guy. And he was a top military guy in the British, for the British, and for England, and forget NAS. I'm gonna forget the exact thing, but his life really, and what he did, he may have saved 700 people. About 30 people died. He was there talking to somebody, saying who's coming, and to help. And he heard a woman scream, and a gunshot fired, and no more screams. He realized somebody's just been murdered. Well, if nobody's coming to help, I'm in. And one of the things he said, he basically said his entire life prepared him for this moment. His entire life, all the things he had gone through. And sometimes I wonder, that really helped me, because all the things I've gone through has prepared me, perhaps, for this very day, for this very hour, to give forth an analytical viewpoint of what's going on in the world from a biblical perspective, something that perhaps you've never heard before. I have no script. I'm doing this totally off my head, and I've got a phone call. Goodbye for now.